Hello. Good afternoon. I know that's a weird way to put it. Welcome to Let's Just Get This Over With. My name is August. I'm your fucking host. I'm the one who runs this shit. I'm the one who makes all the rules around here. So, welcome to the stream. No introduction for the rest of the stream. Just today, right now, is just let's just get this over with. We are going to go deep into this shit. So, I hope everyone's having a good morning, a good afternoon, good morning, wherever the fuck you are. Who cares, really? But the bottom line is, I hope everyone's having a damned good one. I personally am not doing so fucking hot. I kind of have to get over some shit. Mainly losing one of my best friends, but that's besides the point. That is besides the point. Who fucking cares? Regardless though, I do have a new setup. Look at this. I have a new setup. It's actually a nice desk. There's a fucking TV right here. Let me tell you something. This fucking setup was a pain in the ass to make, get ready, and get working. I'm not even joking. It was a pain fucking ass to get it working. It kind of hurt a little bit inside to just essentially get it working. But the point is, it's done. I now have an actual desk, and I have to say, I really like this. I genuinely like all of this. It's really nice and clean, and I personally just enjoy the living fuck out of it. So, with that being said, hey Flame, sorry to hear about what happened between you and show. Oh yeah, thanks for bringing that up, bud. Yeah, so I am no longer friends with show. For real this time, like for real this time. Before we'll get into let's just get this over with here in a sec. I just want to catch up and warm up and shit. So, but yeah, no, me and show are no longer friends. Sadly, he and I had a falling out. I just want to give my own fucking take on that real quick. Because before we start, let's just get this over with. Just so that way I can get it off my fucking chest. And just get that shit out of the way, man. That whole situation, that whole relationship was very volatile. Whether it be on my part or his part, really need not to say. The whole thing was volatile. It wasn't a great relationship in the beginning, but then it immediately fell through. Which, I mean, I guess that's kind of what's gonna happen, right? But no, like I said on Twitter, in my NSFW Twitter, I don't hate the dude. I really don't. I think I lack respect for him because he doesn't pull things through. But I don't hate him. I actually, far from the truth, I really do like him. It's just, again, he doesn't know how to handle himself when it comes to pulling things through and making sure shit works. And over time, this whole relationship between me and him, it became super volatile. All right, every day there would be something. He would be nervous with what I would be saying, how I would react to what he's saying. He really shouldn't have because I have the same response that I usually do. You know, unless there's no context, which then yeah, you probably should worry, right? But no, it just got to the point where the whole relationship started falling apart, and over time, I was the one ending up picking up pieces, building that relationship, trying to keep a dead relationship alive. Let me tell you something, and no, you should not take advice from someone who fucking sucks at making friends and having relationships involved with the said friends. But for the sake of it, here's what I have to say about this. There's a fine line. There's an absolute fine line between keeping a relationship alive and also having one die off. Do not do what I did. I tried to keep a dead relationship alive because despite it being one-sided, despite it being just fucking horrible, and just straight up, it was just constant fighting. There's a lot of shit you don't see behind the scenes between me and him. And I kind of wish there was more transparency with that. Especially when you know, Shoklu and I in the past have went at it out in public. I fucking Keemstarred him on Twitter, on my old Twitter. You know, it's not a big deal. But the reality is like I can't sit here and say, well, Show is fine. Like, you know, again, what I said on Twitter was really simple. I'm not friends with him anymore. I'm not his enemy. I don't fucking hate him. Personally, make your own assessments on him. You make your own judgments on him. Don't take my shit for what it is. I think he's a horrible friend. Based on three things: lacking the compromise, lacking any way of communicating outside of NSW, and just lacking in just commitment. Which, whatever, who cares, right? But like I said, I had to do the right thing because over time you tend to learn, like growing up, like over time when you be friends with these people for as long as you have been, that the relationship, once it starts getting volatile and you're trying to hang on to what's like left, that's a good sign of that relationship being toxic. And honestly, like I'm pretty much okay with cutting ties with him now because at least I know at the end of the day, like I could fucking care less if he hates me or not or whatever. I'm not gonna sit here and say I was an innocent fucking person in this because I really wasn't. But bottom line is it was a shitty, volatile relationship. I did not want it to get any worse. I hope he understands that, like, at the end of the day, I'm not out here trying to fuck. So, I just want to make it clear that make your own judgments on him. Don't take mine for what it is. I might have had a shitty experience with Shoklu for 4 years, but the last few years, because the 4 years in general, it was a mix of good and bad. But make your own fucking assessment on it. Because you might actually have a good experience with Shoklu, and I just might actually, over time, was holding on to a dying relationship. And, who fucking cares, right? But yeah, that led to me quitting art for a little bit, so, I mean, now I'm gonna commit myself more so than usual to, my streams and my editing content. So, yeah, I mean, hey. At least you get to see more of my fucking smackable face, right? Yeah? You guys get to see more of my fucking smackable face. Yeah. Anyway. Let's see what else has been, going on. Other than that, though, I made a new video on YouTube, and thanks to Hunter, you know, I kind of cracked the living fuck out of him. I got pissed at him earlier this morning, or earlier this afternoon, because I was trying to set up the capture card, because I've never really set up HDMI splitters and shit like that, right? So, I was trying to get on his ass about, like, helping me figure out how to get the Switch to work, right? Because all I want is good audio. Everything else with the Switch is fine, streaming-wise. Shit to operate properly. But, no, the point is like, oh, well, I need help with this. And he's like, turn it on. I'm like, dude, seriously, come on. But no, eventually I called him useless, and then I figured it out by sprigging the fuck out, and, sprigging the fuck out, screaming, making my neighbors pissed, and, eventually throwing myself under the bus. But, regardless, it works now. I made it work. Hooray. Anyway, so, let's just get this over with. What are we talking about today? JAKEY! No! JAKEY. If you don't know what I'm talking about, well, let me digress. Recently, like maybe a week ago, this literally happened right after, like, I heard about this, like, right after I did my, whole Twitch versus YouTube bullshit. Which is interesting, because I never really thought that was going to be a thing. But, you know, it's the internet. Retarded arguments happen constantly, right? I still think that both sides are fucking stupid. And I still stand to this day. Now, granted, look, I might have bitched and whined about setting all of this up, but at the end of the day, I'm not going to say being a Twitch streamer is harder. I'm not going to say being a YouTuber is harder. All I'm going to say is all that fucking spawned out of was Pokemon being a fucking idiot and not taking a joke. But she's gone. She's quit Twitch apparently. which, okay, I don't believe her going away. I'm sorry, I have a hard time believing it. But we'll see. And I did make a video on that, but that's not what we're talking about today. We are talking about Jake Paul having the FBI raid. I've been sitting on this for a minute. I have not wanted to talk about this because of two reasons. One, personally, I find no interest in it. And two, the only reason I am covering this is because I had a conversation with another commentary creator, an actual full-time one, Tommy C, from the host of Shot from the Point. It was a small conversation, but we had a conversation about it, and it was something that had got my gears rolling about the whole situation. Because, here's my thing, right? And I guess someone could explain this to me. How the fuck is someone like Jake Paul, right? How the fuck does someone like Jake Paul, genius at fucking marketing, granted unethically marketing, right? He's a genius at marketing, but it's unethical and he's aggressively marketing towards kids, whatever. Who fucking cares? Honestly, name one company or individual that hasn't marketed against for kids, okay? Listen, at the end of the day, kids are profit. The government doesn't like it. You know, that's the government's problem. But kids are profit, sadly. You know? But that's my morally gray hot take. I think it's not okay, but at the same time, money is money. So I can understand where Jake is coming from with that. However, I think it's still unethical. What can I say? However, you have someone who's a genius at fucking marketing, right? But then has the audacity to have horrible people in his life. And I thought I had bad people in my life, but apparently not. Yeah, so I actually have a nice article that I want to read, and then I also am going to bring up this conversation. So from actually, no, I'll reverse it. Why the fuck not? So literally recently, I had mentioned that I had a conversation with Tommy C from Shot from the Point because he had an idea that I kind of had a thought about it for a minute. I never knew who the fuck this Armani guy was, but apparently
hey, what's up? I wanted to give my
this Armani guy is a fucking lunatic, and he's a street guy. He's a fucking lunatic and a street guy. Very crazy. Let's put it that way. So I'm gonna pull this up real quick. Fuck not. So yeah, we're gonna watch this real quick because this is the conversation that I had with Tommy, and I think it's very important that I watch this again because I did watch it earlier, but whatever. We'll see.
Speculation for the Jake Paul situation. I tend to be pretty good at this. I could be wrong. I'm not diagnosing anybody. I'm just giving my opinion. Shout out to Dr. Grande on YouTube. All right, here's what I think is going on. Don't be fooled by the amount of guns that are coming out of Jake Paul's house. The amount is actually, if they're all legal, they're all legal. The amount of assault rifles you have, it could depend on state to state, is really irrelevant. Look at it this way: if somebody's into guns, they're gonna have a few guns. If they're rich and into guns, they're gonna have a lot more guns. And it looks like something even more devious than it is.
And he's right. If someone's gonna have guns, they're probably if they're gonna end up having more guns. It's just the reality. Especially people like Armani. Armani, I have an article on him later that I want to read because it's interesting. Let's be real. He actually apparently is a street guy. And Tommy's going to mention this here in a bit, but the reality is that he is a street guy. Like he has ties with someone or something. The bottom line is this dude is fucking dangerous. And this is where it comes into play, like, how the fuck has Jake fucking genius when it comes to marketing, but then immediately is fucking like, hey, I don't understand. I really don't understand. But then hangs out with people like this, and here's the scary part, and I'm gonna have Tommy explain this. So
that's not going to be really relevant. What I think happened is the FBI is using Jake's arrest over the riot stuff to look into his gangster buddy Armeni, if I'm saying that correctly. Apparently, He's open about being a street guy. Apparently, he's a pimp. And if I had to guess, Jake Paul, type of guy he is, has no idea what he's dealing with or who he's dealing with. Let this.
You know, I actually kind of had to sit there and think about this for a bit. And when I was cleaning my apartment this morning, I was thinking about it too. I was like, wait a minute. What in the off chance is it that, like, Jake doesn't exactly know who the fuck he's hanging out with? Because, like, I don't know, man. Like, for me personally, if I had a bunch of guns that weren't mine in my place, it makes no sense to me to not question why they're there. Especially if it's, like, someone that I work with. You know, like, oh, well, why are there a bunch of guns? Oh, don't worry about it, you know? Don't fucking worry about it. Who cares? You know, well, fuck it, whatever. No, but, like, I don't know if I find it, I just find it interesting that he brought that up. Especially when, like, I have a feeling that Jake might know, but I don't think he might know. Again, it's really hard to tell, especially when you have Jake saying shit like, I have nothing to worry about with this fucking FBI raid. I'm chilling with my dog and my ex. So again, there's more shit to be thrown into the water with this. It's just kind of insane, to be honest. But
this guy come in and just suck the whole situation. He's probably using Jake Paul's power to get girls. He's probably using Jake Paul to store things that he couldn't store because he has a felony conviction. And that's what I think those guns are. There's a very good chance that's connected to Armini, if I'm saying his name correctly. Highly recommend you guys look up former La Cosa Nostra gangster named Michael Franzese. He has a YouTube channel, and there's a plenty.
Oh yeah, I've been watching this Franzese guy, the Michael Franzese guy. Honestly, great content. He actually gives you some really good insight into the mob life, and it can be kind of fucking terrifying. I would definitely, like, I've been watching his content ever since I saw Tommy mention this guy. I actually, like, have been watching a lot of his content. Not a lot there to it in his channel, but it is actually interesting. I won't lie, it actually is really interesting to look at Armani and be like, well, could he be a part of the mob? But he has the same behavior tactics, and so, like, we'll just see.
Plenty of stories out there. He's open about the life he lived before. He talks about how he used to get NCAA basketball players kind of on his payroll and complete control and lock over them. I played it for Nick DiOrio. It's one of those frightening shit. If you catch the right video, how he turns these guys from just thinking he's cool. He's cool because he's hanging out with an LCN guy, to this gangster having complete and total control over their life by forcing them to shave points, and that could be pretty nerve-wracking if you know anything about that.
If that is actually, and I had pointed and I'll show my conversation, but if that is actually what is going on with him, he needs to fucking testify if they're actually going after Armani. That is actually a really worst case thing to do, but it's also the best case thing. The whole thing about it, though, is, and my thing, and I was talking to Tommy about this on Twitter, is that the whole thing about it is, like, and I have my tweets right here, by the way. Glad to know if this is what Jake is going through. I agree the worst case is to testify. However, that could potentially lead to an investigation on Jake. Why do I say that? Honestly, it could be like, because Jake, well, let me put it this way. Jake is known to have been involved in numerous types of scams and shit. Now, granted, even Tommy can sit here and say, like, why the fuck would the FBI want to be involved with the feds? Why the FBI would want to be involved with a psychopath YouTuber? Honestly, he brings up a good point. Why would they waste resources on him? Just fucking slap a petty misdemeanor or two on him. So, yeah. But the thing is, like, having him testify could lead to more investigations on Jake. If there wasn't already an investigation on him. And the worst part about it is that maybe, just maybe, if he testifies against Armani, the whole thing could be fucking blown to bits, because Armani could just say, like, well, he was an accomplice to my bullshit. Because, again, there's that off chance that he might know. he might actually know and might have willingly been an accomplice to this bullshit. It's possible. It's fucking possible. I wouldn't doubt it for a sec. It kind of can happen. And yeah, like, I might not 100% be on the theory, just like Tommy is saying here, but the point is like, you can't just sit here and like fucking say like, you know, like Armani. Listen, Armani is actually a dangerous person. No joke. There is a lot of like things that this guy has done. I'm not, like I said, I'm gonna show a report or an article here in a sec, but the best that we can do is wait and see an investigation. And so Tommy sent me this video. So when Tommy sends videos, something...
You know, it's another thing to think about. Even if he did something, he could be in a, like, sort of like 6ix9ine did. He could be just forced to testify. I mean, it was pretty obvious in that case. They didn't really see 6ix9ine as much of a threat, as well as like legit street guys that were around him, and you know, some of them got upwards of 30 years. So even, you know, if you can put something down, he may be able to, and he'll flip quick. He'll be able to flip on this guy, put him in jail for life. And even if he raped somebody, they'll let him slide on it. Even if he had some kind of scam.
Yeah, so in a nutshell, what Tommy's gonna basically say is like, compared to what Armani has been pulling himself through, with this whole felony shit and, you know, storing weapons in Jake's house and shit. Jake's probably, even if Jake gets an investigation, it probably is just gonna end up being like petty misdemeanors, right? Because of his whole scam shit. The point is though, and why I point this out is because there actually is some connection to him, Armani having some ties to the whole thing where, yeah, this guy's actually kind of fucking dangerous. No joke. He actually is dangerous. Apparently, like, he had a whole fucking ordeal in Las Vegas, Nevada, which I didn't realize. Again, I don't know a lot about this dude. Everyone knows about Jake. Again, this is the funniest fucking... This is usually how it works, right? Everyone knows about Jake. But no one knows about the people that works with Jake. Especially under Team 10. And apparently it turns out that there was a whole investigation, right? Where this guy basically did the same thing that he said he did in the past. Right? So, like, for example, he was a pimp. He was essentially just a pimp, right? Arman Izzati lured women into the prostitution ring with promises of immense wealth, his companionship, and most of all, his protection, loss of police say. But the suspected pimp, who police say earned hundreds of thousands of dollars, and that's what Tommy was trying to mention, is like, yeah, this dude had fucking gotten a lot of money out of this whole sex trafficking thing, right? And that's why he's more dangerous than, like, fucking Jake is, right? I do agree. I think that that's fair to assist and say, yeah, good point. Who police say earn hundreds of thousands of dollars from sex work trolling high-priced Las Vegas nightclubs did little to guard the women who made him rich. Yeah, okay. Police said Izzati, 28 years charm, should attract women to his business and intimidation to keep them, viciously beating them if they tried to leave. That sounds like a pimp to me, bitch! Let's go. Okay. Izzati was arrested Wednesday morning when police and IRS agents raided his home in the Las Vegas complex where he lived in a swanky condo overlooking the strip. Details of his activities were outlined in a Las Vegas police report released Thursday. The case against Izzati began in December. One of his former prostitutes. Okay. So, from basically, yeah, the women agreed to even when Izzati didn't set up her appointments, she found her own clients in the vast nightclub scene. She told police she made more than $20,000. The busy Halloween weekend last year. This dude is fucking dangerous. Jake, for Jake to even be working with this guy is kind of fucking terrifying. And it's not even just terrifying for Jake. It could be terrifying for a lot of people on YouTube as a platform. Because you gotta understand, advertisers over there, they don't look at one YouTuber as a silent incident, especially a YouTuber like Jake or like Felix or just any big YouTuber who seems to get themselves messed with controversy. Right? Like, they treat the whole fucking platform as a whole. If one person does it, everyone does it. And as much as I fucking think advertisers are retarded in that approach, and it fucks with everyone, at the end of the day, the bottom line is money. And having Jake work with someone like this, right, it's a detriment to the platform. It's a detriment to the platform and advertisers to pull out. I'm not going to say it's anywhere near as bad as something like, well, I don't know, Shane Dawson fucking his cat and allegedly being a pedophile, but it could, or like the James Charles situation, or any fucking false rape allegation. But this could potentially be worse because we already have mainstream reporters like already covering this shit. Like when I was looking up articles, I found a CNN article on this matter. So when you have places like CNN like doing this shit, it's already going to be a detriment to the YouTube's advertisers. And so, and this kind of shit also could like point like, you know, like YouTubers have a bad fucking rep. You're like content creators and streamers, regardless, have a fucking bad rep. All right, we're like essentially the leeches of society, right? Because all we do is sit here and fucking record or stream and play games or do whatever the fuck we're doing, right? So we already have a bad rep as it is. But for Jake to have something like this be involved, where he has someone like Armani investigating him, and Armani already has like horrible fucking things already. Like again, this dude was in the sex trafficking industry as a pimp, right? What you essentially have here is a guy who is tied with someone who is big in the YouTube scene, or at least once was. That alone is fucking scary. Because then basically what can end up happening is you have YouTube's advertisers looking at the situation, and they'll just pull out, and then Susan's gonna look at that and be like, well, everyone can go fuck themselves, suck my JAKEY motherfuckers, and do some irrational fucking policy where it cuts ads even more. It cuts money even more. And then even more fucking YouTubers are gonna be fucked out of their livelihood. If they already haven't. It's just a shitty situation all around. And like I had told Tommy, we have to wait and see how this unfolds. You know, like this whole situation, man, I'm kind of fucking worried a little bit. Not for Jake's safety, but for like, say if I want to get monetization, right? If YouTube decides to put a fucking new policy about this stupid shit or implement something completely new again, hey, listen, I'm pretty sure a lot of people are going to be pissed. But then again, Jake is a fucking Jake is fucking stupid. I can't sit here and say, like, at the end of the day, like, Jake might know that he was involved with this kind of shit. He might have been complicit. Honestly, really, no one knows. It kind of is a hard situation to tell. Again, the whole thing is still brand new. You have to fucking sit here and wait. But then you have people like Keemstar who had made a drama alert. Bless base Keemstar for making drama alert, right? Keemstar, unfortunately, had made a video about the whole situation where he brought up who was the former Team 10 member? Basically, he brought this former Team 10 member and an alleged victim to Armani, where basically it's just it's pretty bad because apparently Armani allegedly tried to get onto this girl. And I'm probably gonna show it anyway, but
ladies and gentlemen, we have Adam.
Team, don't fucking nuke me, man. Like, you're don't fucking nuke me, please. But the point is like, basically there is a former Team 10 guy, I can't remember the name. I'm gonna have fucking Daniel say the name, obviously, because we're gonna watch this anyway. It is in relation to this whole situation. So for context, and I'm gonna repeat myself over and over again. For context, because there really isn't a lot. Listen, there really isn't a lot to this whole investigation. A lot of it is under wraps by the feds. A lot of it is being thrown out there. Even fucking Jake hasn't made a response to this. Except for I'm just chilling with my fucking ex-girlfriend and my, and all this other shit. But the point is like there's so much bullshit going on with this investigation, in terms of it being hidden under wraps by the feds. Everything's going on. All that we have is Keemstar interviewing this guy and having this girl come out, over against Armani. But then we also have the whole situation where, like, Armani has a fucking history. So I'm just gonna have Keem play. We're gonna play this and have Keem speak this. This is Keemstar. You've already seen him. Thank you for reminding us. He is an asshole.
Quinn back on the line. Now, we had him on an interview yesterday talking about the ins and outs of Jake Paul's mansion in Calabasas and the manager, Armani, and some of the criminal stuff that's going on there. Now, yesterday's interview
I would recommend watching that interview. I won't watch it here, but I will say if you were very interested, I would recommend you watch that interview. Very interesting to hear what he has to say, especially when it kind of falls into line with what Tommy was saying about the whole street life thing, and just overall, it just goes into hand in hand. I really can't stress that enough. But we're gonna watch this.
Adam talked basically about how a girl reached out to him and said that she was raped inside of Jake Paul's house. I reached out.
6 months, things have happened with our me being a part of Team 10, and now being out of it. There's a lot of people in this space that when things pop up, people get brought to me, and over the last 6 months, this man is coercing very, very young girls and DMing them, telling them that he's going to sign them to Team 10 if they're down to basically fuck him and have threesomes with him. And he is talking about him and Jake and making it about both of them. So
yeah, so that seems to be like, remember when I think that seems to be what's been like is probably going to happen. Is that Armani does not want to go to jail. So if he's going to go to jail, he's going to take Jake with him, because Jake is the most influential person within that. Yeah. All right.
So I've had girls reach out to me, and Chloe reached out to me and told me about her incident. So I got them.
I'm gonna be honest. I just now realized that fucking Keemstar does have like that gnome look right now. It's kind of fucking. It's a little distracting. It is a little distracting. Like I need this picture now. There. I'm keeping that.
On the phone with her, and she told me that she had another incident that I've had hundreds of girls tell me the same thing about their experience of how they were raped by Armani and told them they didn't want to,
looking like Santa Claus. No shit,
so
looking like Santa Claus before Saint Nick.
Chloe, what happened? Where were you? Who?
Now already, I can tell you right now. Like again, maybe she was. I don't fucking know. But allegedly, this girl was. But I honestly, all right. Let's just listen to this.
Contacted you, and on what Instagram?
Azadi DM'd me back in early May on his personal account and said that he was interested and wanted to have a meeting with me and get to know me and potentially sign me to Team 10.
And you're 18 years of age, right? And you're trying to make it in this industry, so obviously you feel like.
So, okay, like I said, like, sex trafficking is bad. But Keem, this girl isn't a minor. She's 18. Okay? Now, granted, like, this whole situation is fucking shitty. That's the reality of it. This whole situation is shitty. All right, this guy should not be fucking trying to get girls to fucking have sex with him, and potentially put a lot of people in danger because of it. But the reality is like you can't just fucking sit here and say this girl's a minor if she's fucking 18. Okay, like granted, like listen, I guess in some areas it's debatable, like, oh well, 18 is still technically a minor, August, but you can't fucking sit here and say she's 18. I'm sorry, a minor. She's 18. Regardless, the situation is still pretty shitty. But who fucking knows? Maybe this guy is a pedophile.
Like this is your big break, right?
Exactly.
Okay. So you end up going to the Team 10 house, and what happens when you get there? Like, is it just Armani? Do you see Jake? Do you see anyone else?
No, so I just got done at a shoot, and he called me, and it was after Logan's party, and he said that he wanted to have a meeting with me to talk more about it, signing me. And I got there, and it wasn't, I mean, we talked for a little bit, but then it wasn't at all what I expected it to be. He didn't.
So he just starts putting the moves on you or something?
No. So we talked for a little bit.
See, I'm not gonna lie. I kind of find this story a little believable. And the reason why I find it believable is this girl could have just hammed it up a bit more and been like, oh yeah, dude, he already fucking just put the moves on me. I kind of find the story believable because she's like, no. He didn't put the moves on me just right yet. Right? I do find the story kind of believable. I'm not gonna lie. Because even then, like, we have records of this dude literally fucking doing shit like this. Like, he tried, like, having charm and shit. Oh my god, he has charm. I believe it. I fucking believe it.
Like 20 minutes, and then he started.
It's just the fact that she even went out of her way to like say like, yeah,
before, just like
he didn't put the moves on me right away.
Questions, and I was sort of just like nervously like laughing it off, like not going along with it, kind of just being like, obviously not entertaining it, but and then he forced himself onto me, or he didn't force himself onto me right away, but he kept saying like, oh, like, please, like, do this, and I was like, no. And I actually made up a lie and said that my mom was calling me, or was texting me, and wanted me to go home.
Yeah, listen, I'm not gonna lie. If someone's saying like, if like you have a girl or like, another person you're trying to like go date, right? Obviously, this wasn't dating. Okay, if they're saying like, I have a text about coming home, you probably should back the fuck off. But this is Armani we're talking about. Armand that we're talking about. He obviously isn't gonna fucking back the fuck. He wants that cooch, right? Again, I have to say, I have to believe this girl. I actually have to believe her, because, like, so far, what she's saying kind of does add up. Like, it does kind of add up to what is being said in past history of its crimes, It makes this whole situation,
And I was like, no, I need to leave. And then he just kept saying like, please, and just kept like begging me. He was like, please. And I was like, no, like, I'm not gonna do that. Like, I don't want to. He's not. Like, I just was like, that's not what I came there for. I came there for a meeting.
Right. So you go there for a meeting, and then, I mean, does it get to the point of intercourse?
Yeah.
How does that happen? Is he holding you down? Like,
so I kept saying no. I probably said no like 10 times, and then
Yeah, he wasn't gonna take no for an answer. I don't buy it. He wasn't gonna take no for an answer. That's true.
He's like, please, please.
Let's see if I can speed this up a bit.
Paul involved in any of this?
You know, I don't know, but what I do know is that Armani tells these girls that they need to have sex with him and Jake to be able to be part of Team 10, and that if they want to.
I wonder if Jake can like testify and say like, maybe like, hey, I was aware of this, but I wasn't complicit in any of the things. I wonder if that would still make him complicit. Because it's like, I don't know. We'll just have to see. I actually am curious about this whole court case because it is just really interesting.
You know, be part of the group.
This whole
if that's what they
investigation
have
is
to
just
do.
interesting.
So
right?
I would assume that Jake could be involved maybe, but he knows that this is going on. And Chloe waited a month and a half to speak to anybody about the situation because he tried to scare her with the NDA until I saw her post that someone sent me, and her and I got in contact. And then I said, listen, you need to go file a police report. It's criminal. The NDA is out the window. Go do it. She went and did it this last Saturday.
By the way, yeah, she did file a police report apparently. If this guy is vouching for it, like again, I'm not gonna sit here and say what they're saying is true. Maybe they did, maybe they didn't. The bottom line is why I'm showing people this shit. And it's important. It is important. Not just for, you know, people to watch out for this guy. But the reality is like, you have a situation where, you know, a YouTuber like Jake Paul is just as susceptible to bullshit from dangerous people like anyone else. You know, like, and the worst part is not only is he being susceptible, everyone else around him is going to be susceptible to it. Possibly. Better yet, other people who aren't even necessarily involved, you know, say other creators, could get fucked over this because of this shit. You know? Kind of like the Kappa situation. The Kappa situation was because you had fucking creators like Lele Pons and Jake Paul openly admitting, like, yeah, like, we're fucking marketing to children. Fuck you, government. You know? And, you know, then fucking YouTube got fucking hammered by the FTC and Kappa got enforced on YouTube. Not YouTube themselves. No. The YouTubers. Yeah. So I kind of am interested in seeing how this plays out. Not just on the FBI investigation stance, but what's making me nervous, and I'm pretty sure what's probably going to make a lot of other people nervous, is whether or not this is going to impact YouTube as a whole. Because let's be real here. Jake is not a small creator. He was the golden boy child for a while there until he fell off because of various circumstances. He is a huge fucking con man. There have been known scams that he's been involved in. He is a very big, heavy, aggressive marketer, not just towards children, but in general. And he has some type of tie with the Chinese marketing firm, from what I was aware of. If I recall, that's even correct. I know I heard that somewhere. I think it was from Nerd City. But then again, Nerd isn't really credible anymore, is he? He got fucking deplatformed because he said that regulation is good for YouTube. But the whole situation is just it's something, that's for sure. I mean, honestly, like, at the end of the day, we have to wait and see what happens with this whole investigation. That's kind of just what it boils down to. Because it really, how this is going to play out is, how it plays out is, Jake's probably going to testify. Something in terms of an investigation will be opened up on him to see whether he's complicit with this shit or not. Armani probably will go to jail. That is a huge guarantee that he will be going to jail. Jake might have some misdemeanors on his ass. more. If not, he might be going to jail for a few bit, and then maybe possibly advertisers will look at this and be like, well, YouTube is being bad again, we can't have our ads on there. And then, you know, Todd Clorox is just gonna be like, buy my fucking sponsor shit, because every YouTuber on the fucking platform is going to be fucked in the ass because advertisers pull out, and YouTube can't fucking handle, you know, not having AdSense fuck people over. I actually am a strong proponent for AdSense to be broken down. By the way, that in its own right is a fucking monopoly that needs to be broken down. I think I mentioned it in the last Let's Just Get This Over With, how fucking horrible AdSense is. Because the moment fucking shit like this goes down, advertisers don't want to fucking pour their money into shit anymore. And then the people who are actually getting paid get fucked. Because of shit like this, and YouTube and Susan Wojcicki just tells people to fuck off and suck Susan's Wojcicki. You know, the whole situation's shitty. I'm actually kind of curious to see how this plays out, but oy vey, like I said, there really isn't a lot to this. I really didn't want to cover this because there's not a lot into it. And even then, looking on Twitter, there's really not a lot to it. And having that conversation with Tommy, it did make me understand a little bit more, like, yeah, we'll have to fucking wait and see. I might cover this in another Let's Just Get This Over With if there's more updates. But the reality is like, this is a scary thing to be having involved with YouTube, especially. And this Armani guy is fucking dangerous. To any future content creators out there, do your research on who you're fucking working with, because you don't know if they're fucking dangerous. So I think that's going to be it for Let's Just Get This Over With.